In my last video, I touched on the fact that Clark's fall into self-doubt and Bruce's fall into paranoid rage were stoked and orchestrated by Lex Luthor. This video is here to explain what Lex's plans and motivations were in Batman vs. Superman. It's a pincer manipulation that simultaneously targets Bruce and Clark in very different ways. It's also really interwoven, so this won't exactly be in chronological order, but I'll do my best to keep it as easy to understand and easy to follow as possible. Now let's dive in. Lex shows us in 3 scenes why he hates Superman. He explains to Senator Finch that his father grew up under fascism and instilled a disliking of men with power over them early on.
You know, Dad was born in East Germany. He grew up eating stale crackers. And every other Saturday, he had to march in a parade and wave flowers at tyrants.
And why would we want to weaponize this material?
As a deterrent, a silver bullet to keep in reserve to use against the Kryptonians, so the day does not come, madame, when your children are waving daisies at a reviewing stand. You don't have to use a silver bullet. But if you forge one, well then, we don't have to depend upon the kindness of monsters.
Later, we discover that Lex's father was also abusive, and when Lex wasn't saved by God from his father's abuse, he grew to resent the idea of not just powerful people above him, but any being that could be perceived as greater than human for not sparing him from his father's fist.
The problem of evil in the world. The problem of absolute virtue.
I'll take you in without breaking you, which is more than you deserve.
The problem of you on top of everything else. You above all. Because that's what God is. See, what we call God depends upon our tribe, Clark Joe. Because God is tribal. God takes sides. No man in the sky intervened when I was a boy to deliver me from Daddy's fist and abominations. I figured out way back. If God is all powerful, he cannot be all good. If he is all good, then he cannot be all powerful. And neither can you be. They need to see the fraud you are. With their eyes. The blood on your hands.
Lex wants to put so much pressure onto Superman that he cracks and shows his true self, which in Lex's mind will be some horrible and uncaring godlike being that the world will hate just as much as Lex does. Superman does in fact show his true self when he sacrifices himself for a world that's unsure of him, because he doesn't require approval from the world to do what's right. He just does it. As Zack Snyder says,
and I think that Superman does represent this kind of spirit of volunteerism, spirit of like self-sacrifice, and he's not looking for any glory for himself, just to give.
Lex tries to make Superman doubt himself with the media, who constantly debate whether he even deserves to exist and what his value is to society. He frames Superman in Africa by staging a scenario where Lois will be in danger knowing Superman will intervene. This gives him an opportunity to frame Superman for the death of a whole village by having his private militia gun down everyone and burn the bodies, making it look like heat vision caused the damage. He then blackmails a local woman to testify that Superman is fully responsible, despite Clark telling Lois, and by extension the audience, that he didn't kill anyone in Africa.
They held hearings about what happened. They're saying...
I don't care. I don't care what they're saying. The woman I love could have been blown up or shot. Think of what could have happened.
Well, think about what did happen.
I didn't kill those men, if that's what they think, if that's what they're saying.
Well, I'm saying I want to understand what happened.
Superman goes to clear his name, only for Lex to stage a bombing to make Superman doubt his effectiveness as a hero and to traumatize him. Because as we would later find out, the bomb was coated in lead. Superman couldn't have known it was happening, but in the moment, he doubts himself. You can even see it on his face, as he thinks, could I have stopped this? Is this my fault? Finally, of course, Lex kidnaps both Lois and Martha Kent in order to force Superman to show his true self as a killer with the ultimatum of bringing him Batman's head. Now let's circle over to Bruce. You see, while Clark refused to cave to Lex's manipulations, Bruce fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Lex chose Wallace, a Wayne Industries employee who Bruce had personally saved, to radicalize. He halted his disability checks from Bruce and faked hateful mails sent back to point the blame for his actions towards Superman. When the news breaks that there was a bombing at the Capitol building, the news doesn't use a headline about an attack. The headline is still talking about Superman, as if to implicate him. Even after Superman stays and helps, the news still calls him into question. In the scene that follows, we see Alfred coming back from chopping wood only to discover Bruce missing, Lex's forged letters from Wallace on the table, and the news blaming Superman on the TV. As Alfred brought in kindling to fuel the fireplace, Lex has provided fuel for the fire that is consuming Bruce.
Now, initially, Superman was helping bring victims out after the blast, but he seems to have disappeared, raising questions.
Lex lures Bruce to Metropolis and even rigs it so that Clark is reporting that night by using his position as a chairman on the Daily Planet's board of directors. It's really funny. Perry, for some reason, just picks on Clark like he's some lame nerd even though he's jacked. I don't know. Perry White is hilarious in these movies, and he really doesn't get enough credit.
Benefit for the library of Metropolis. Someone on the committee requested that Clark Kent cover it. Probably some old charity crone who's got a thing for nerds.
Anyway, Bruce even alludes to knowing that Lex owns the news company.
Daily Planet. Wait, do I own this one? Or is that the other guy?
And there are a ton of juicy details and foreshadowing at Lex's party, so much so that I really can't fit it into this video, so we'll just move on and cover it in a later video. Anyway, Lex basically tells Bruce Wayne exactly what to do while stoking his rage and paranoia.
So, after all these years, we finally got you over to Metropolis.
Well, I thought I'd come drink you dry.
Well, you're welcome. You should hop the harbor more often, though. I'd love to show you my labs. Maybe we could partner on something. My R&D is up to all sorts of no good. Hop the harbor more often. No, I'd love to show you my labs. Maybe we could partner on something. My R&D is up to all sorts of no good.
And then tries to force Superman to give up his moral code on live TV.
Now the cameras are waiting at your ship for the world to see the holes in the holy. Yes, the Almighty comes clean about how dirty he is when it counts. To save Martha, bring me the head of the bat.
But he refuses and instead stops fighting back and is willing to die, only begging Batman to save Martha Kent after he's done killing him. Bruce's boot on Clark's throat cuts off her last name and accidentally triggers a PTSD meltdown where Bruce begins to unravel further before Lois, a human woman, rushes in between Batman and the alien at his feet and says it's his mother's name. Which, by the way, is huge, because until that scene, Bruce's rage had blinded him to the idea of Superman even having a mother or human relationships. Nobody knows he has a secret identity in this continuity. In fact, Lex's whole plan is basically undone by strong women because he's such a narcissistic douchebag, he can't imagine a woman being better or smarter than he is. Again, a topic for another video at another time. When Batman and Superman refuse to kill one another, what does Lex do? He unleashes a monster of his own making to kill them both.
Excuse me? Gotham roast. Well done. Hello? Break the bad news.
I'd rather do the breaking in person.
20 seconds.
You've lost.
I don't know how to lose.
You'll learn.
Oh, ancient Kryptonian deformity. Blood of my blood. Born to destroy you. Your doomsday.
He believes that because he bonded his blood to the creature that it will obey him. And just like in the comics and cartoons, Lex greatly overestimates his cleverness and power and actually needs Superman to save him. Just as Lex had a bad relationship with his own family, with his father, Lex's quote-unquote son tries to kill him as well, only for Superman to spare him from Doomsday's fist, thus literally proving Lex's assumptions about Superman were entirely wrong by sparing him from abuse. This leads to Lex being taken to Arkham Asylum, where he levels out and becomes the more calm and confident Lex that most people who didn't watch Smallville or read Superman Birthright are familiar with. Lex telling Batman's League of Assassins rival Slade Wilson his secret identity, and of course the formation of the Justice League, who realize that without Superman, they're going to need to work together to pick up the slack. It's a cool twist on the reign of the Superman, where Steel, Eradicator, Cyborg Superman, and Superboy all try to fill the void Superman temporarily leaves. I gotta tell you, I came across so many amazing little moments and clever callbacks rewatching these scenes that I'm absolutely dying to make another video just talking about all of it with everyone. I mean, it is just insane how layered these movies are. It's pretty mind-blowing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, be nice to one another.